I thought I had it all: a loving wife, a beautiful son, and a best friend I'd known since kindergarten. We were inseparable, the three of us, a perfect little family unit. My son even called him Uncle Mark. Looking back, maybe that was the first sign, the first crack in the foundation of the life I thought was rock solid. It all started so subtly, a comment here, a lingering glance there. I dismissed it. Paranoia, I told myself. Mark was my brother, and Sarah, my wife, was the love of my life. They would never. The day my world shattered started like any other. I came home early from a business trip, excited to surprise them. The house was quiet to quiet. I found a note on the kitchen counter. Sarah's handwriting, neat and deliberate, spelling out my doom. She was leaving me. She said I'd become distant, cold, that I didn't love her anymore. It was a lie, a carefully constructed narrative, but the most painful part was what came next. She was with Mark. He understood her. He was there for her in ways I apparently wasn't. The letter was a gut punch, each word a separate blow, knocking the air from my lungs. My first call wasn't to Sarah, it was to Mark. I needed to hear it from him, needed him to tell me it was all a sick joke. He answered on the second ring, his voice calm, almost rehearsed. He confirmed it. He told me they'd been seeing each other for months, that they were in love. He painted me as the villain of my own story, a workaholic husband who took his wife for granted. He twisted every late night at the office, every business trip I took to build a better life for us, into a weapon against me. I hung up the phone, a hollow shell of the man I was that morning. The betrayal wasn't just losing my wife, it was the sting of my best friend holding the knife. The next few months were a blur of lawyers, shared custody schedules, and suffocating loneliness. The house felt huge, empty. Every corner held a memory, a ghost of the life we once had. My son, Leo, was my only anchor in the storm. He was only 5, too young to understand the complexities, but he knew Mommy and Daddy didn't live together anymore. Seeing the confusion in his eyes was a fresh kind of agony. He'd ask about Uncle Mark, and I'd have to bite back the rage and just say he was busy. How do you explain to a child that the man he idolized destroyed his family? I tried to move on, but the anger was a constant companion. I saw them once across a park. Sarah and Mark with my son, they looked like a family. Mark was pushing Leo on the swings, and Sarah was watching, smiling. It was a picture-perfect scene, a scene that should have been mine. The rage boiled inside me. I wanted to scream, to confront them, to shatter their happy illusion just as they had shattered mine. But I just stood there, hidden behind a tree, a spectator to my own stolen life. Then, 6 months after the split, the ground shifted again. I got a call from Sarah's sister, Jessica. She sounded frantic, telling me I needed to come over, that it was urgent. I found Sarah at her sister's place, her face pale and streaked with tears. The story she told me was a tangled mess of deceit and manipulation. She started from the beginning, explaining how Mark had slowly poisoned her mind against me. He'd told her I was having an affair, providing evidence, faked text messages, staged photos from my business trips. He was her shoulder to cry on, the confidant who was secretly orchestrating the entire collapse. She admitted she was weak, that she let his lies feed her own insecurities. She fell for it, and when she was at her most vulnerable, he made his move. The affair, she sobbed, was a mistake, a desperate act born from the belief that I had already betrayed her. The final straw came when she discovered his web of lies. She'd found an old phone of his, and on it, the truth. The fabricated texts, the conversations with a woman he paid to pose in photos. It was all there, a meticulously planned demolition of my life. He hadn't just stolen my wife, he had tried to steal my character, my integrity. My first instinct was vindication. I wanted to shout, "I told you so." I wanted her to feel a fraction of the pain I'd endured. But looking at her, broken and sobbing, all I saw was another victim of his cruel game. The anger I had held onto for so long began to dissolve, replaced by a profound sadness for all of us. He hadn't just destroyed our marriage, he had damaged her, too. He had used her, manipulated her emotions, and left her just as broken as he had left me. That night, I didn't sleep. I paced my empty house, replaying everything. I thought about the years of friendship with Mark, the laughter, the shared dreams. It was all a lie. Then I thought about Sarah, the woman I fell in love with, the mother of my child. Could I ever forgive her? The logical part of my brain screamed no. The betrayal was too deep. But then, an image of Leo popped into my head. His smile, the way he'd look from me to his mom, his whole world contained in the two of us. The next day, Sarah asked to see me. We met at a neutral coffee shop. She didn't ask for me back. She didn't make excuses. She just apologized. A raw, honest apology. She took full responsibility for her part, for believing the lies, for not trusting me. She just wanted me to know the truth. She looked me in the eyes and said, "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. But Leo deserves to have parents who aren't at war." And that was it. That was the moment everything became clear. This was never just about me and her. It was about him, our son. Holding on to the anger and bitterness would only poison his future. It would mean that Mark truly won, that his poison would continue to seep into the next generation. Forgiveness, I realized, wasn't about letting her off the hook. It wasn't about forgetting the pain. It was about me choosing to let go. It was about taking back control from the man who had tried to ruin me. I looked at Sarah, the woman I had loved, lost, and now saw in a new light not as a betrayer, but as a fellow survivor of a calculated attack. I took a deep breath. "I forgive you," I said, and I meant it. Not for her, not even for me. I forgave her for Leo, because our son deserved a father who was strong enough to choose peace over pride, and a mother who was brave enough to own her mistakes. Our romantic story was over, but a new story, one of co-parenting and healing, was just beginning. We would rebuild, not as a couple, but as a team, united for the one person who mattered more than any betrayal. And in that choice, I found my own kind of peace, my own victory. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever faced betrayal, know that healing is possible, and sometimes the strongest move you can make is to forgive. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about resilience and the human heart.